before I get started here, I want to thank the Pinnacle team for having me on today. I have the privilege of working with thousands of Medicare agents across the country, hundreds of agencies and FMOs and NMOs and insurance carriers. And there are organizations that want to bring thoughtful and progressive and new ideas to their agents to help them make their day-to-day lives better. And then there are FMOs and agencies who just don't call you back. Pinnacle is not in that second column. They're absolutely in the first column. I've been incredibly impressed by their team. I have a privilege of serving many Pinnacle agents today, but I just want to thank Rob, my friend Bob Brinsky, Angela for having me on today, and just to reassure all of you who are on this call that you're in good hands, especially with what's coming due to the Inflation Reduction Act. And that's kind of what we're here to talk about today. But a little bit of background on me. My name's Dalton. I'm from Columbus, Ohio. I went to the Ohio State University. Please do not hold it against me. But I come from an agency myself. I started working for my dad's Medicare agency about 5 years ago. We're a small LOA shop. We've got about 7 or 8 writing agents, depending on the year. But my dad's been at it for a very, very long time. So our agency has grown to serve approximately 23,000 seniors with a Medicare Advantage or supplement policy. And we're really proud to do that. It's a lot of people, but we created a little problem for ourselves. And that problem was all of our clients would call us every AEP and ask us the exact same question, which is, Joe Namath says there's something better out there. What you got? Or am I still good on the plan that I'm on? And the call volume to us was growing to be crushing. We were either going to have to hire a call center or additional payroll to manage that volume, or we were going to develop something. And we developed this product that you're going to see here today. And when we did, we realized that we not only created a very cool retention tool that remediated our issue, but also a very cool new business tool as well. So we just boiled this down to the basics. And this is what everybody on this call does every single day. It's what we do as Medicare agents. What do you got to know about somebody in order to provide them with plan options? Whether they're T65, retiring, already on Medicare, you got to know their prescriptions, their doctors, their hospitals, their pharmacies. Then some key lifestyle preferences. Do they want to pay co-pays when they go to the doctor? Do they want to retire in Florida? Those kind of things. But these first 4 are very, very sensitive data points. And what we see from agents across the country, and look, I'm not the police, I'm not telling on anybody, but they're just exchanging these things in non-secure ways. They're doing it over text or email, or worse, I see some agents go out and buy a bunch of stamps and mail out a big letter in advance of AEP. And look, expect their clients to mail something back to them. But folks, it's 2024, there's got to be a better way. And then, ladies and gentlemen, these folks show up. And I'm very proud of this slide, the way these TV commercials come in all ominously like this. I was on with an agent in Southern California recently who told me that my glasses reminded her of Medicare Martha, which hurt my feelings, okay, because that's my arch nemesis in life. But these TV commercials are the worst. They're so patronizing and they're so misleading. They talk about the shiny benefits, right? To drum up all that call volume. But we know as agents and good stewards of our clients and just good people in general, what good is a shiny benefit if the doctor you've been going to for 20 years is now out of network? You know, these are the same shiny benefits that you and I have in the plans that we offer. But we wanted to create something that better connects agents with their clients, gets seniors the answers quicker, so nobody calls these people anymore. So what do? We create RetireFlo. And what RetireFlo is, at its core, is it's an online survey built into your Connecture platform that you can send to your clients and prospects in advance of a meeting. It's going to take them on average 8 minutes to complete. The font is humongous. It asks one question at a time. It's incredibly easy for seniors to complete. And I call everybody Susie Senior, but I don't want to sound disparaging when I talk about seniors and the font being big, but everybody on this call knows as well as I do, if it's not easy, these seniors just won't do it. So when Susie Senior answers your survey, you get 3 things. 1, you get a list of her prescriptions, doctors, hospitals, and pharmacies. On those prescriptions, they're spelled correctly every time. Dosage, quantity, frequency, package, brand of the generic. Everything you need to know to go out and run a quote for Susie. The second thing you get, because our survey has been approved by CMS, in the federal government's eyes, you now have achieved permission to contact with Susie. So it's great for your new clients as well. And then lastly, the final question in our survey is that scope of appointment form. And there's a lot of services out there that provide scopes, and that's okay. But the reason that we do it is because let's say you're meeting with Susie next Thursday. You had an appointment in the books. You say, hey, Susie, I'm looking forward to our appointment. I need you to complete this survey by next Tuesday. That's going to give you a compliant scope, which is great. But more importantly, it's going to give you those drugs, doctors, hospitals, pharmacies at least 2 days in advance. So you can do all of that planned research, show up locked and loaded, quotes in hand. And to most agents, that just means more one visit closes. And where you're going to see this presentation going, and I'm going to bury the lead on myself a little bit, but we launched this product approximately 11 months ago. And we're very, very proud to serve thousands of Medicare agents across the country, almost at tens of thousands. But the number one question that we got was, wow, Dalton, your service is cool, but wouldn't it be better if it went into my Connecture platform, my enrollment tool? Well, stay tuned. That's what's coming next. But there's two very, very important things I want to make everybody aware of before I talk about the Connecture piece of this. Our best feature at RetireFlo, the reason why we are a new business and retention machine, is that your senior clients do not have to have a username or a password or a code, none of that stuff to complete the survey. You simply send it to them via text or email. They click on it, they complete it, they're done. That's it. Takes them 8 minutes. So to totally streamline your AEP, all you gotta do is send the survey, and it works great on whatever device they open it up on, their phone, their tablet, their iPad, their computer, their Kindle. In fact, if it's got access to the internet, we're gonna be able to white label your survey, so that way it's customized with your logo and your headshot, so they know it's you and it looks and feels like you. And the other neat thing about our system is that whenever your senior clients complete our survey, not only is that going to go into your Connecture platform, which is great. I'm going to talk about that in a second. But it's also going to create a timestamped record of Susie Senior's answers on retireflo.com. And what's especially neat about that is the record itself has been approved in the health plan management system. So I'm going to talk a little bit about a hypothetical here. Let's say you meet with Susie Senior and she tells you that she takes a torvastatin and Advair. Those are her 2 prescriptions. You enroll her in a plan and everything's fine. 6 months later, grievance filed against you from her insurance company that says you didn't do a good enough job explaining whether Susie's Eliquis was covered. And you think to yourself, Susie never told me she took Eliquis. You know, our senior clients can be forgetful sometimes. Now with RetireFlo, you've got a timestamped CMS approved record of what prescription Susie told us she took. You can send that document in and make that grievance unfounded. So a built-in kind of backup functionality stored right there inside of our service as well. So with that being said, wouldn't this be cooler if it went into my Connecture platform? It does. And it creates an absolutely deadly scenario for agents in advance of this AEP. 3 clicks to enrollment. Click 1, send an email or send a survey via text or email to your beneficiaries. Collect all that good, healthy data. Click 2, run quote. Click 3, enroll. That's it. So in advance of what could be one of the most tumultuous annual enrollment periods ever, you can easily go out and collect the data that you need to go out and shop your clients' plans. Now, our system, and this is a very, very key distinction here, and I usually get questions about this, so stay tuned on this portion here. Really dial in because it's very important. And it's a very cool feature of our system. Our system, RetireFlo, lives inside of your Connecture platform in 2 different instances. I'm going to talk about Agent Bob and Susie Senior. In instance 1, Agent Bob has never met Susie Senior before. She's a prospect. New client, doesn't know anything about her other than she called in last week and said, hey, Bob, I want to work with you to identify a Medicare plan that's right for me. Agent Bob can distribute her a survey via text or email immediately to her phone or her computer, tablet, whatever. It takes her 8 minutes to complete. When she does, Bob is immediately notified, and Bob logs into his Connecture, and he's got a brand new profile for Susie Senior with her drugs, doctors, hospitals, pharmacies, contact information, and assigned scope instantly. Instantly. It's immediate. So awesome functionality for your prospects, right? But what about those people you already have in your Connecture platform, your existing clients? You know, maybe, and this is instance 2 now, maybe you met with Susie Senior 3 years ago and you enrolled her in a plan. You enrolled her in a WellCare PDP, right? And you've got an out-of-date list of her drugs, and she wants to shop her plan this fall because her PDP premium just skyrocketed. And you need a new scope anyway. You can send that Susie Senior a survey straight from her existing Connecture profile. And when she completes it, her profile is updated with drugs, doctors, hospitals, pharmacies, contact info, and assigned scope. So no duplicates on RetireFlo. We're going to update all of your existing clients as well. So with that being said, I'm going to do a live demo of exactly how the heck this thing works. So I'm going to head over to my Connecture platform. I would imagine this looks a lot like yours, except just a little bit of a different logo in the top right-hand corner. So I've signed up for RetireFlo, and I have this new option underneath new profile here that says new beneficiary via RetireFlo. Instead of manually keying in, you know, you're on the phone with Susie Senior and she's trying to spell levothyroxine over the phone. No more. I now have this new option that says new beneficiary via RetireFlo, and when I click on it, I get this nice, easy to use pop-up box. So we're going to ask Agent Bob for her name, Susie Senior. I'm Susie Senior 105. I've done 104 demos as Susie Senior now, so I got to be able to differentiate them. And then I put in her email address, which just happens to be mine. I can also automatically send her a text with this survey as well. I'm not going to do that because I can't demo it very well live here, but you can text her as well. And then you get to customize the associated message that goes along with it. So, hey, Susie, looking forward to our meeting next Friday. Please complete this secure survey by next Wednesday. Your agent, Dalton. I press send survey. I'm done. That's it. I did my part. As the agent, instead of manually keying in all that information, I now have created a brand new profile for Susie Senior, but I don't have any of the goods on her. I don't have her zip, county, address, phone number. I don't have any of her prescriptions or her doctors or hospitals or pharmacies. I don't have a scope, but I've got her profile stored in here. Oh, excuse me. Something's calling my phone there. I didn't mean for that to happen. So I'm going to head over to my email and show you exactly what I just received from Susie Senior, or from my agent. So give me just 1 second. I'm gonna open up my email. Not that I don't love Pinnacle agents, but I just don't want everybody to read my emails, no offense. So immediately I just received a survey from my agent Dalton. It's white labeled, it's got my logo, my headshot, so Susie knows it's coming from a real person. It even says my name right there in the subject line. Dalton Miller has sent you a secure Medicare survey. I have that customized message. Hey, Susie, looking forward to our next meeting. I need you to complete this survey by next Wednesday, your agent Dalton. So I'm gonna complete this survey like I'm Susie Senior and show you what her experience would be. So immediately, when I click on complete survey, I am taken to my secure RetireFlo survey. This survey is white labeled, again, with your logo in the top left, your headshot. And for those of you who happen to have any Spanish speaking beneficiaries, we have an automatic Spanish translator built in right there at no additional cost. And when you click on it, it automatically translates your survey into Spanish, which I think is especially cool because I don't speak any Spanish at all. RetireFlo does it for me. Keep in mind, folks, as I go through this survey, it looks just as good on a phone or a tablet. And the only reason I bring that up is because I'd argue our survey looks better on a phone. And we just did a study. In fact, 65% of the submissions, of the tens of thousands of submissions we process, are taking place on a smartphone. Anecdotally, seniors are getting better at this than they are their computers at home. Excuse me. So I'm going to go through the survey again like I'm Susie Senior. What's your name? Susie Senior. And our survey is very intuitive. It's going to take Susie's name, narrate the survey on your behalf. Hey, Susie, let's get started. We're going to ask her for her email, susiesenior@aol.com. Now, folks, all of our questions are optional. So if Susie doesn't have an email, that's okay. She can skip it. We're going to ask her for her address. I'm going to type in an address near me. And when Susie selects her address, it's going to auto-populate with her zip and her county. So she doesn't have to type it, but you're still going to capture all of that data. And that data is going to power some of the searches we have coming up. We're going to ask her for her phone number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then we're going to ask for her preferred pharmacy. She can add up to 3 pharmacies here, and it's going to take that zip, auto-populate it. She's going to look for a pharmacy near her, a CVS, and here's one. Here's her local pharmacy right at the top. This is Connecture's API at work. So what about a local pharmacy? We've got Kroger's here in Columbus. Here's Kroger Pharmacy on West Sycamore Street. So even your local pharmacies will populate. You can add up to 3, or she can add up to 3 pharmacies here. Then we're going to take a look at her current prescriptions. We're going to remind her, go get your prescription bottles. This part's important. We've all met with too many seniors who go, I left my list of drugs at home. Do I need that? You're like, yeah, that's why I told you to bring it. Or you have the beneficiaries who bring in a giant bag of pills into your office. That doesn't seem safe. So you don't have to worry about that anymore. We also remind Susie that we're not particularly interested in her vitamins or her supplements over the counters. Thanks, but no thanks. So let's say Susie takes Lipitor. She types in the first couple letters at the top, it pops up. Then we ask, do you really mean that you take the generic atorvastatin? Let's say she does. Then she's got a drop-down menu of available dosages. And when she selects that she takes that 40 milligram tablet, we're going to suggest to her common user quantity and frequency. In this case, that's 30 tablets a month. Maybe she takes 90 every 3 months. She can edit those fields. But let's say Susie takes Ozempic, which is another popular one. Doesn't come 30 pills a month, right? When she selects her dosage, it's going to auto-populate with the package. So you're going to know, oh, this is an injectable, this is an inhaler, something comes in non-traditional means. But lastly, let's say Susie takes Synthroid, another popular one among seniors, but this time, Susie forgets to tell you about her dosage. Tries to keep moving through the form. It's going to stop her. Say, hey, Susie, I'm going to need this if I'm going to do a nice job for you. So once she adds that dosage, she can now proceed through the survey. All of her information is correct. Then we're going to learn about her doctors and her hospitals. She's going to go searching for her primary care physician. I'm going to look for mine, which is probably a HIPAA violation against myself, but whatever. We encourage her to put first and last name, but I'm just going to search for last name. And what do you know? Dr. Thomas Hospital pops right up. That's Susie Senior's PCP. So she can add her PCP there, and she can additionally add as many specialists as she'd like. So there's a local doctor, a local specialist here named Dr. Milhan. I think he's in internal medicine. Here he is, Dr. Judson Milhan Jr. They can add that as many specialists here as they see fit. That's matching whatever's in Connecture. Then we're going to learn about her preferred hospital or medical facility. She lives in Columbus, Ohio, so I bet she goes to the Ohio State University hospital system. She searches for Ohio State, and what do you know? It comes up right at the top. But let's say Susie doesn't always live in Ohio. Maybe she winters in Florida or Arizona. All she has to do is change the zip and search for a hospital in a different community. Same for doctors, same for pharmacies. So if they're got somewhere that they visit or do something remotely, they can add those hospitals there as well. Then your headshot says, hey, here comes the scope. What the heck is it? Kind of a scary, cumbersome thing for seniors, right? They think they're signing their life away. Not our scope. Super clean, easy, highlighted and glowing where Susie needs to initial. She initials. I'm gonna leave this ancillary one blank, like she forgot. She picks a signature that best represents her and she signs and completes, or tries to at least. Uh-oh, I call this the guilt box. We pop this up just to remind Susie, hey, we're not particularly interested, or remind her, hey, you're not signing your life away. We're only asking you to provide you with plan options. We're going to encourage her to go back and initial it, but she can always continue on without initialing. But let's say she does, she initials and she signs and completes. And when she does, she gets this nice screen from you that says, your name from your agency will contact you soon. Now, instantly, my phone just buzzed. I got a notification in my email that says, hey, you got a new submission on RetireFlo, log on to check it out. So I head back over to my Connecture platform. I go to my dashboard and I go searching for Susie Senior. Let's go find her. Susie Senior 105. And when I search for her, she pops right up. But all of a sudden, I got all this good, healthy data on her to go out and run in these quotes. Let's see here. I think I might have clicked on the wrong Susie Senior. Apologies. I do too many of these. That's the problem. Let's see here. I'll do a demo one I know works. I'm over testing my own system, but here it is. All that good, healthy information. Zip, county, phone number, address, email. What about her prescriptions? We'll start with her doctors, actually. Apologies. What about her doctors? Here they are. Her PCP, her specialist, her hospitals, her prescriptions. Remember, we changed to atorvastatin to 90 tablets every 3 months. Here we are. Ozempic, Synthroid, those pharmacies. And then again, that scope of appointment document right here, built in, automatically updated in the scope of appointment section on your Connecture platform. So that's what RetireFlo is designed to do. That's what your system does, built in right into your Connecture platform. You can also, if you're interested in signing up for RetireFlo, you can do so on any Connecture profile. It's going to be right there on the search, or I mean, right there on the right side of the screen. Here, RetireFlo, you instead of send survey, it'll say sign up, or you can do so in your account overview right here in the center, account overview. For you, it'll say, instead of saying log in, it'll say sign up. But let's fast forward in time. Let's say it's 2027 and Susie wants to shop her plan again. You can always send another survey right here on the right side of the screen, distributing her a survey again from her existing profile. And when she completes it, it'll automatically update her profile. So remember those 2 instances I talked about? That's available to you here as well. One of the frequently asked questions that we get is, why can't you ask for date of birth? I noticed you didn't ask for that in the survey. CMS has prohibited us from asking for date of birth, which is incredibly frustrating, but unfortunately, in order to remain compliant, we cannot ask for a date of birth. So, but that's what RetireFlo is designed to do. And again, if you're interested in adding this, you can add it here in your account overview section. In terms of cost, I want to harken back to our friends at Pinnacle. If this is something that you're interested in adding, contact your sales director at Pinnacle or the Pinnacle sales team, and they will help you onboard onto this process and talk you through the payment portion of this. Our system is not free in most cases, so you'll have to go ahead and add that, but make sure you talk to your Pinnacle sales director or the sales team at Pinnacle to get that squared away. If you have additional questions, you're like, I know there's a lot of Facebook chatter about our platform and a lot of questions associated about RetireFlo and how it can work for you. You can always set up a demo with us on retireflo.com by pressing set up a demo right here at the top. It will take you to a calendar where you can meet with us one-on-one as early as Wednesday morning. So with that, Rob, happy to take any questions that have come in on the chat or in the question box. I haven't seen any yet, or maybe I can't see them.
Yeah, we got a couple.
Okay.
One of the main questions that everyone keeps asking is, what are your plans to work with Sunfire? Because we do have a lot of people that do work with Sunfire.
Great question. We're sticking with our partners at Connecture. This system is built inside of Connecture, but we also offer a traditional product that you can use with any enrollment system. You can access that at retireflo.com, and it offers a survey that produces secure PDFs and CSV and Excel files that you can take and you can use with the carrier sites, you can use with other enrollment platforms. That's available to you as well, and you do get a discount through Pinnacle for that. We're always happy to walk you through that, and that's why we encourage everybody to meet with us. You obviously, if the Connecture one works for you, go on to Connecture and add that today. That's no big deal. But if you had additional questions about how does this interact with my CRM, do you have an integration there? How can I make this work for my agency? Set up a time with us. We've got a whole heck of a lot of users who use all kinds of enrollment platforms. So make sure that you meet with us one-on-one and we'll get you squared away.
Amazing. There was another question. We had a question on the agent side of completing the scope. Could you run through that?
Yeah, so take note. Okay, that's a great question. We're going to store that scope for you here on Susie Senior's profile, just like it always would. But note that you can't complete the scope here. That's actually something that Connecture is working on, which I think is something that we need in advance of AEP. However, RetireFlo offers you the ability to sign the scope on retireflo.com. I talked about before, you get those CMS approved backups, right? The things that protect you against any compliance issues you might have. You can access the RetireFlo Submission Center. So whenever someone completes your survey through Connecture, you're going to get a corresponding record here in your RetireFlo Submission Center with all of that client's data right here. I'll give you an example of one I did the other day. So you're going to get a list in a secure PDF with name, address, zip, county, phone number, pharmacies, prescriptions, dosage, quantity, frequency, package, hospitals, doctors, and then at the end, that scope. But we leave this agent section blank intentionally because we find that most agents are never asked to produce a scope anyway. Or maybe agent Rob was sick that day and Susie met with a different agent. You can always sign the scopes here in our submission center to make them accurate as to the meeting that took place. With the agent name, agent phone number, the initial method of contact, plans represented, and then when you type in your name, it'll automatically sign on your behalf. So you just press sign and then you're done. That's it.
Fantastic. And everyone will, when they create their accounts, they'll be able to have access, obviously, to their submission board through RetireFlo. It'll ask them for username and password.
Yeah, when you onboard here and through your Connecture platform, it'll prompt you to create a username and password, and that's the username and password you'll use on retireflo.com to access the submission center.
Awesome. Other question that I see come up here was if they are currently working with RetireFlo with another FMO, how does that work if they want to move that to Pinnacle?
If you want to move it to Pinnacle, it's a great question. We can absolutely help you do that. Our recommendation would be just set up a time with us on retireflo.com, pick a time, and we can move you over. It takes a little bit of manual labor on our end because we want to make sure that you're properly refunded and things like that, but we can do that in a matter of minutes. Just pick a time with us and we'll get you squared away. Rob, let me answer one question that I know, or maybe people haven't thought of yet, but does come up quite a bit, is about data overwriting. Let's say you met with Susie Senior 3 years ago. And it's 3 years ago and you have 3 prescriptions on file for Susie. And this year she completes the survey and she takes 7 prescriptions. We're going to overwrite the past 3 and bring in those brand new 7, so that way when you go to run quotes, you've got an updated snapshot of Susie's entire health regimen. A frequently asked question we get is, Dalton, why don't you ask, are these still the prescriptions that you take? Display those 3 old ones. The problem with that is that requires a username and a password, which leads to over 60% abandonment. 60%. So we want, and for compliance purposes, we want to give you a nice backup. Here's what Susie told me she took this year. So that way, if you ever call on the carpet or get a grievance filed against you, you have that backup built in to your system. We've also done a lot of studies on this, and many of you will agree with me when I say this. There is too high of a likelihood that when you present a list of Susie Senior's prescriptions from 3 years ago, that she'll just say, yeah, those are the same 3 prescriptions I take. And statistically, that's almost impossible. But what if she moved? What if she added a specialist? What if she visits her grandson in Arizona and she wants to make sure she can go to a hospital out there? We're going to get that up-to-date, fresh, healthy snapshot every single time for all of your prospects and all of your existing clients as well.
Awesome. That's fantastic. Had another question, Michelle. So you can, if you want to show this again real quick, Dalton, how to request access, and I'm guessing in terms of the access, it's instantaneous, right?
Oh yeah.
Once you sign up.
Yeah. So you'll go to your Connecture dashboard, and then you'll click on your name in the top right corner, and click on Account Overview, and RetireFlo will be right here in the center. For you, it'll say Sign Up. We'll ask you a couple questions about yourself and your agency, and this product will be immediately turned on for you instantly.
That's awesome. Let me see here.
And Rob, while you're looking at that, I'll just add an anecdote. Ladies and gentlemen, you cannot go into your senior clients' drug cabinets for them and find out what prescriptions they take, although many of us probably would want to make sure that we're doing a good job. You can't. Every time you meet with somebody, you got to have this information. In order to stay compliant, in order to stay prepared, sign up for this system today, get comfortable with it, use the heck out of it. It doesn't matter how many times you use it. It's not based on usage. There's just a simple flat rate. Again, contact your Pinnacle sales team about that. But this is a great way to get prepared for every single meeting you take. It's available today inside of your account overview. It's just kind of a no-brainer way to prepare for what is going to be, I think, a Part D tsunami this fall. And there'll be agents who are prepared, who sent this out early and often to get it from as many of their clients as they humanly possibly can. And then there's agents who get swept. So don't be in that second column. Use RetireFlo to get ahead of the game.
That's awesome. Yeah, we just had a question about the scope. So Carolyn, there's no check boxes on their scope. It's actually just initial boxes. Right. And Dalton did show that if you don't initial, even if they only initial one of the boxes, then it's going to prompt them. Yeah, are you sure that you want to proceed, basically? Which I think is a pretty genius thing, because it's going to make the person think about. Do you have any statistics on that, Dalton? People that come back to it. So I don't have like formal statistics, but I'll share these 2 things with you. That verbiage that's written there, we're trying to be as transparent as possible. We just let her know, your clients know, look, the reason we're asking you this is just simply to provide you with plan options. It's not, you're not enrolling, you're not doing anything, that you're not signing your life away. So we get really, really high take rates on our scopes. In fact, RetireFlo processes a submission on behalf of an agent every 15 seconds across America. That's especially hot right now. I think during AEP, we anticipate processing of submission a second. From our users, I do not hear any gripes about unsigned scopes at all, period. I just don't. So what that leads me to believe is, because it's HIPAA compliant, I can't see some of that data, but the agents are not having trouble with this. And look, RetireFlo is not some software service you sign up for and you never hear from us again. In fact, it's quite the opposite. And this is going to sound corny, but it's actually turned out to be a great thing.
as a benefit for signing up for RetireFlo, you get invited to our Facebook group. It's called Medicare Island. You got to be a user to join. And it's actually turned out to be a fantastic place where agents are exchanging best practices. Hey, I'm an agent in South Carolina. I got 20 submissions in a day. Here's how I did it. So we'd love to have you in here. This is a benefit of joining with RetireFlo. And you can see how agents are sharing thoughtful ideas. And then we're in here talking about how to prepare for WellCare being non-commissionable, not to spook anybody, but I think other carriers being non-commissionable in the future. Don't be shocked if you hear from Rob about other insurance companies doing the same thing, which is lame, but it's the truth. But use RetireFlo to get ahead of the game. So it's available today inside your account overview.
Yeah, and I think this is going to be a great tool because come October 1st, I mean, you could just, instead of, sending out letters with, postcards, I mean, I'd imagine this is way cheaper to just email all of your clients. A lot of you already have permission to contact, so, you can text this to your clients. Hey, I mean, we're texting people in the daily anyway, it's like, hey.
And not to make fun of you, Rob, here, but don't wait until October 1st. Go now. Sign up for RetireFlo. Scopes are live for a year. So get this thing out to your people. Let them know, hey, I got some questions for you to provide you with plan options. But when your plan changes this fall, because it's gonna, they're gonna know that their agent is taking care of this for them. It gives them a sense of security about what's important in this process. And they're gonna know that agent Rob or agent whoever is going to be taking their prescriptions into account, their doctors into account, their hospitals. And doing it compliantly and efficiently. Remember, it only takes these seniors 8 minutes to complete. And I think some people see this and they go, oh, my clients are seniors. They're not going to be able to complete this. No way. No way. That is an antiquated way of thinking, and it's simply not true. Seniors have smartphones. They do. That's how they get on Facebook to look at their things their grandkids are doing. And so we find that if you send this out to your entire book of business 5 times in advance of AEP, more than half of them will complete it. So it's a great way to get prepared.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, I think that's it. I'm not seeing any crazy questions pop in. So you must have did something right.
I try. I mean, listen, I've done this demo a lot, but I will tell you, ladies and gentlemen, if you got questions, you're like, hey, I think this thing sounds cool, but I use this CRM or I use this system, and how does this work with the downline agent? Set up a time with us. We'll meet with you one-on-one. We'll answer all your questions. A real human being will meet with you, or join the island, ask us a question there. But this is available today in your account overview, and we're so proud to serve you in advance of all of those of you who sign up. But life is too short to listen to your senior clients try to spell levothyroxine over the phone. Use RetireFlo to get ahead of the game.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. All right, we're gonna end there. In terms of signing up, you guys have, I logged into mine today before we jumped on here. It's there. So if you're interested, everybody can hop on there. I would reach out to the sales directors here. They can certainly help you figure out from a cost perspective, what's going on, because the sales guys are kind of your key to that. Outside of that, I just want to thank Dalton for taking the time of his day to hang out with us. I want to thank everybody on the call, because I know it's a Monday and this is typically my busiest day of the week. So, time is money, and look, we appreciate everybody that is hanging out with us. So you guys have a great Monday, and hopefully we'll see some of you guys soon at our Champions event. It's one of our series events that we're doing. We're going to be in, New York/New Jersey on Thursday. We have Citizens Bank, and also in Tennessee, Nissan Stadium, which is going to be, the 2 of the last weeks in September. So, certainly we're really excited about that. If you're interested, go on our website, pfsinsurance.com. So
yeah, RetireFlo will be there. I can't wait to meet some of you in person.
Yeah, RetireFlo will be there, so you can actually hound him with all the questions that you didn't ask today.
Thanks, awesome. Rob. Have a great Monday, everybody.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.
Don't forget to subscribe to catch the latest news in insurance and agent training. See you in the next video.